Hey there, Meeple peoples. I'm Mark from the Meeple Society. For Jessica, Katie, and Greg, I want to thank you for stopping down into the wine cellar with us and grabbing that dusty bottle with the label marked 5 things.
5 things.
So let's have a moment today to have a public service message about a dangerous trend, especially in the internet today: catfishing. Catfishers create a fictional persona, hiding their true identity by pretending to be something they're not, specifically to lure a victim into an ongoing relationship. It's a deceptive, underhanded ploy, and it happens more often than you might think, especially in the age of the internet. There's probably even a small subsection of our friends that might suggest catfishing is how I landed my wife. And 10 years later, she's still learning horrifying things about me. Catfishing happens in board game stores on more or less a daily basis. How many times have you picked up a board game box whose cover art promised you an exciting, magical, tense experience, a battle to the death, a thrilling archaeological adventure, a rousing tale of pirates or crime or heroism, only to open the box and find a ridiculously underwhelming pile of cards and meeples and cubes and regret? That, my friends, is the very definition of The Price is Right sad trombone. In the words of Shakespeare, "Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?" I'm sort of looking at you, Lost Cities. We had the vaguest notion of what we were doing when we opened you, and you only had the vaguest notion of Lost or Cities in your actual gameplay. You were an utterly fine girl on your own, but you tried to play yourself off as an archaeologist. I saw through you the moment I opened your box. I knew you had no idea the difference between hieroglyphics and Shinola. And that's something I should point out here. It's not specifically that the games that I'm listing here are necessarily bad games. It's just they mislead you with your cover. They make you think that something it's not. And that in itself is dangerous power. So in that vein, I am happy to pull the veil back on 5 catfish games from our collection. Number 1, Bonfire. So this game, Bonfire typifies the catfish scenario. Look at that cover. It's beautiful. It has this magical citadel in the background, the hidden gnomes throughout the cover, and the whole thing looks like it's filled with magic and beauty and hidden adventure and wonder. And even the back photo seems to suggest that at least there could be some kind of magical adventure to this game. And then you open the box and you wonder what the hell you've done with your life while you do your best to enjoy a point salad game while trying to make a bunch of priests do a dance progression. Bonfire is that person that sends you the really hot, but obviously airbrushed and photoshopped picture of themselves, where they've adjusted the camera filters and gone all high angle to put themselves in the best light possible and, photoshopped away most of the bad things, but then maybe forgot to crop something incriminating. If you take a close enough look, you'll see it and it should raise a red flag. But you're so taken by most of the picture that you kind of let it slide. See, and right here in the upper left-hand corner of this box, there's this little telltale red flag where it reads Stefan Feld. All right. You're not getting anything magical. You're getting several rounds of barely concealed mechanics with a tacked on theme and grabbing points for anything and everything you do. And there's nothing particularly wrong with that. And it doesn't make it a bad game at all. It's still got some really nice color and some pretty decent artwork and everything like that, especially compared to some of the other Feld games, which we were talking about. And it's still got some really inventive stuff, but it's never going to match that cover. And that just kind of makes it an empty tease. And let's be honest, the world needs those too.
Feel so incredibly called out in this.
Just say,
yeah, I really like that game. So, but I like point salads. So,
yes. And I'm not saying there's anything particularly wrong with these games. I am saying, however, that the box cover is leading you to believe that this is something so much bigger and grander than it actually is.
Well, the red flag should have pointed it at you right off the bat. It's a Stefan Feld game. Every Stefan Feld game just has something pasted to it.
You-
It's
you
a
know,
colorful Stefan Feld game, so that might have just kind of taken your interest away.
Softened
but-
the
Took my
blow.
interest. Literally, I
Right.
walked in
Yep.
to our friendly local game store. I was there to pick up something, and there it was. And it was beautiful
Mhm.
and magical. And
Mhm.
I grabbed it up didn't even look at it. I mean, yes, I looked at it. And yes, I saw the red flag, but
Mhm.
that just gave it clout,
me-
honestly.
Right?
Let me
Right?
Yeah, it was going to
Let
be
me
a
be
good
com-
game.
let me be honest with you, Greg. Desperate people a lot of times ignore those red flags.
You wanted a really magical game that had theme from Stefan Feld. See,
Exactly.
that's the junkie coming out.
Number 2, Terra Mystica. Now, Terra Mystica has a little bit of that same airbrushed hot would-be bow aspects of Bonfire, but it's a little bit more insidious. If you look at the cover, there's a very, an esoteric feel of magical discovery to it. Seriously, take a very close look at the cover of Terra Mystica sometimes. This pristine landscape in the center with the dwarves and their shovels, all of it surrounded by mystical circles with the different types of lamp types. Even the font here, that's a cover that suggests this beautiful 4X fantasy world. And say what you will, the cover looks very poignant and very beautiful, full of mystery and adventure and confidence. It's like a bit like a modern Tolkien, like it promises a modern epic. So you open it and it's like, okay, what, hex tiles? Okay, I can deal with hex tiles. Hexplored is high on my list of cool games, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And well, yeah, the art's all right. It's not spectacular, but the player boards are pretty okay. And it's the hell is up with these little wooden pieces? I mean, yes, granted, this was put out 10 years ago, but seriously, these are hideous. So you know what? We live in the age of 3D printing and Etsy. So I'll just go find someone who's upgraded, and seriously, there's like no one who's offered upgraded pieces for these goofy wood cast primitives. God, that's hideous. So if Bonfire is the airbrushed Facebooker, Terra Mystica is that person that tries to show off how cultivated and intelligent they are by Googling smart things to show off their intelligence. Like they're leaving highbrow quotes from Nietzsche and Machiavelli and Descartes. And if pressed, they couldn't even tell you which country any of them come from. They wax rhapsodic about cultural prose while never actually having read any of it. They repost Maya Angelou quotes without actually knowing the context or possibly even who Maya Angelou is. Terra Mystica wants to pretend it's a game that doesn't need screen printed pieces or pretty wrapping to tie you up because you fell for it for its smarts anyway, right? Right?
It's me. I'm Terra Mystica.
Yes, they definitely need to upgrade components.
Yes.
This
And we
is-
really-
own both of the expansions. So, I mean, it's a
Yes.
good game and we enjoy the heck out of it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
he just can't deal
Ugh.
with those components.
How will the-
Well, now, have you guys ever found, and I know you're Etsy shoppers like we are,
Mhm.
but they have overlays for this that make the pieces stay in place that are so
see.
nice.
Mhm.
That's
That would make a big
something we'll have to
difference.
look
Yeah, we
at.
have that.
Mm.
Now,
But-
that being said, I accidentally ordered 2 sets without realizing I ordered 2 sets. So,
So y'all need some
I have-
sets.
I
Well,
need a set of
We could
overlays.
use some sets.
we could use some sets.
So this game's 10 years old, so maybe they could come out with a 10-year anniversary with
Yeah.
upgraded
Go.
components.
With
See, I
nice-
would buy that and get rid of the other one.
Absolutely.
Upgraded pieces.
And we have the box inserts. So, like, I don't want to buy, the 20th anniversary
True,
edition or
true.
whatever.
Right.
I just
and
want
I
the
have nice
components.
overlays. I don't
Mhm.
want to buy new overlays.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe they come out with upgrade that
Okay,
you could buy
there
the
you go.
upgrade kits.
We do the
And-
Castles of Burgundy coins.
Right.
Buy them
As
separately.
long as
Mhm.
the pieces fit into my overlays.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because otherwise
Exactly.
the overlays are no
Yeah.
good.
But this
Yeah.
game, I don't think I've really looked at the cover art on this game. So
I'll be
It's-
honest, I never have.
It's pretty, but it's not. It's not like grab you by the neck type pretty, but it is. It's still. It gives you that nice feeling of, hey, this is exploration, and it's it's got the magical feel. It's a very nice cover. I just hate those freaking wood pieces so bad.
Yeah, they are pretty bad.
Bother me. I
But
don't have any
if you think
problem
about
with
when
them.
it came out, that was the big thing.
Yeah, exactly. 10 years ago, it's like, oh my gosh, we've cut something other than cubes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. That just sounds like how everyone talks to me. All right, number 3. Quest, A Time of Heroes. Sometimes catfishers are just simply desperate liars. So you meet someone vaguely attractive and you might show them a little bit of interest, and they are so absolutely desperate to impress you. So you talk to them about the things you like, and they eagerly leap all over it in a way that makes it seem pretty much impossible to believe. They try to make it look like they're too good to be true, and in reality, they're just too not true. Like, say you enjoy chess, and they suddenly remember they're actually distantly related to Garry Kasparov. Or you enjoy writing, and they have this 500-part Mary Sue fan fiction they're working on about, shoot, which anime was it that you liked again? Or you enjoy role playing and they totally have a set of whips and chains and leather. Oh, that's not what you mean, is it? So they're so eager to please, but they're just too much to be real. These are the people that like freeform role playing games just simply because rules are too much of a weight on their creativity, and their last GM wouldn't let them have a dragon-blooded half-fey cat girl mage brawler that uses a two-handed magic glaive with a secret princess ancestry background and a Pegasus unicorn familiar. I do want to point out, by the way, this is not something at all out of personal experience. So this
Good to know.
This brings me to Quest, A Time of Heroes. I wanted to like this game so much. I mean, look, the name, even if it feels generic, A Time of Heroes, fantasy, RPG-esque, and that cover, yes, there's no backgrounding. I understand that, but that's some beautiful artwork there. The elf maiden, the lizard man, and the orc right there. The tropes are all right there. Even the back cover evoked this feeling. This is something in the RPG realms. One of the players would be a quest master who would pit the dark sorcerers and evil warriors against your bright heroes. So I brought it home with the hopes that this would actually be one of those hidden diamonds in the rough, because look, I really don't care if a game has a huge following if it works well for me. And this game, oh my God, this game. Seriously, it attempted to be a mesh of a board game and an RPG, and it somehow failed on both sides. There's no board. There's no real RPG rules. There were some of the dullest scenarios I've seen that didn't involve the Powered by the Apocalypse rule set. The rule book was confusing and not well documented. And well, when you get a game that doesn't have a huge following and its rules are trash, guess what? You don't get a lot of help from BGG either. It was turgid enough that I've held on to it solely for 2 reasons. 1, just because I don't know that I want to donate it and inflict it on somebody. And 2, I'm going to someday look over it and try to play it again, because I honestly can't believe that every time we pulled it down that we are that stupid to not be able to understand how it works.
Is this that game that we sat down the one time to play and you didn't even get to the rule book and everybody agreed? It's like, no, let's play that. And
No,
we
that's
just kind of
this
packed
is
it back up. And
this is exactly that game. Someday I'm going to force myself, chain myself to a chair just to sit down there and figure out the rules.
We bought this game like it was one of our first board game purchases. I mean, we were so young and naive, we didn't know.
That explains why you've still held on to it then. Okay.
we have games like that still.
Oh yeah.
Still in our actual collection, and that's why we're going through them now.
It's I guess we could actually consider it like our game, except for it's horrible. All right, number 4, Rudica and the Six-Sided Spellbooks. Okay, so Rudica and the Six-Sided Spellbooks is a wonderful game, and don't even let me tell you different, because it is. It's an awesome game, but look closely at its cover. The very name of the game, the font used for the main title, the kid-friendly graphic design, the obvious Harry Potter-esque theme. When you open it up, you've even got pretty icon dice, this cutesy little flying cat first player marker, comic book that you play along with for your tutorial, you can't honestly look at this and think that this isn't a game marketed heavily to the all ages set, especially including the 8 and under crowd. And you'd be right, assuming your 8-year-old enjoys war games and Sudoku. I mean, we're slightly a little bit older than 8, and we would have been lost without the play-by-play comic. And I know you're sitting there, all you guys on BGG are sitting here going, ha, my 6-year-old picked Runica right up and we play it every week. You know what? Good for you. And you keep that kid engaged and preferably off Twitter, right to the point that they pick up their PhD in physics and robotic engineering. Hopefully you have a Nobel winner in your future. As for us normal folks, Runica is very awesome, but it's a much more difficult and tactical game than the cover lets on. If it's a catfisher, this is the type that publicly Facebooks all the pictures of them happily eating ice cream in Starbucks and playing mini golf and going to carnivals and smiling while they hold cats and dogs and having a good old time doing things that make them look young and vibrant, hoping to lure you in. And then you find out they have a secret fetish basement and a library of Clive Barker books that they read and live their lives according to. You know, it's not specifically bad, you know, and, you know, for some people, that may actually be better than you expected. It's just sort of not what you think you signed up for based on the pictures.
I don't know anything about this game.
It's an awesome game.
Not.
We did a review of this one, and
I thought it sounded familiar.
It's that one it's a little bit like Sagrada, except for you're pushing dice in from the sides.
And you can turn the outside to change the way the dice can come in.
I remember being really intrigued by this one.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to let you play it.
It's not for children, is what you're saying.
It's it's like Sagrada designed by Clive Barker, you know. Think of like the box.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Gotcha.
You know, difficult. Yep. It's good. It's an amazing game.
It is a great game, and we'll definitely have to let you guys borrow it so you can take a look, because I know Katie at least would love this game. This has got that nice puzzly, thoughtful aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the runes that you have to get in you have to like complete certain goals, and then you pull your dice off. It's a really good game, and I like it. And my only gripe is that it looks so obviously pointed at children. And children, if they try to play this game, they are going to be frustrated as all get out.
Well, the age on it is 14 plus, so
it is
just you know. But yeah, it is.
Artwork would have been more geared.
It's a good game. It's just a lot tougher than what you think it's going to be, but it's an excellent game. It's very fun. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
All righty. And number 5, Lockup, a role player tale. Some catfishers go the absolute opposite route of Runica. They play up this dark, edgy aspect where they wear black or they show a lot of skin, tattoos, or piercings. They take selfies where they give smoldering gazes with club backgrounds. They pepper their conversations with double entendres and innuendo, and they play up that they're some hardcore bad girl or bad boy when they see that it interests you. And then once they have you, you find out that they just put on a cover of being dark, but they spend most of their days at a boring 9-to-5 job, and their secret passion is watching Hallmark Channel movies with their cats. They're fine, and they may even be marriage material, but the most spicy thing they've actually done includes grinding their own peppercorns. So cue up Lockup, a role player's tale, which is a fine game. But seriously, look at that cover. Look at that name. It's a prison game called Lockup. And you're playing humanoid races that are traditionally evil in role-playing games. This just screams bad things are afoot, and it sells it to you. It's in the role-player universe, which is naturally a wonderfully situated fantasy D&D type world. So you open it up, and even the game board has that dungeon-esque quality that hypes you and gets your nice evil mind in gear, and you start to play, and it's worker placement and resource management. Seriously, it's Agricola in a prison. Okay, maybe not that far, but still, that's not to say it's not a good game. But seriously, this is a huge jail filled with demi-human clans and gangs, and involving you hook up with some of the meanest creature types, trolls and mind flayers and insectoids in the fantasy world. And yes, there are raids, but by and large, you're not responsible for them. I think there may even be bribes to guards. I don't remember right offhand. But I mean, come on, with that theme, with that art, you mean to tell me there are no prison riots? I mean, there's not any open gang warfare or threats in the dinner line. How can you even have a game with this theme and not have a single shanking? Right. I mean, it's not that Lockup is a bad game at all. I just feel like, there's a huge missed opportunity there. It's very bland for what its cover suggests. Catfish.
Yeah. We got this at the Dice Star Retreat.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of our gifts, and we played it. And it's like, I kind of agree. Yeah, it had nothing really to do with prison. I mean, you're going to claim a room and do something there and get the rewards for it. But yeah, it didn't have any theme of you're in prison. Look out for these guys.
Yeah, it just didn't feel it, and that's not to say it's not a good game. I think as a worker placement game, it's probably a really good worker placement game. But come on, shank someone. Seriously, you're a group of kobolds. What do you care?
I feel like we're advocating murder here. I don't know what
I actually backed the Kickstarter for the expansion on it because it's the role player universe, and even though it wasn't what we expected, I don't know, I still appreciate the fantasy anthropomorphs, I guess. I don't know what to call them, but yeah, those type of monsters. I was like, well, it's still, kobolds and stuff. That's still fun. It's a fun theme. Wasn't what I thought it was. But the Kickstarter expansion has you can get under the prison. There's catacombs and crap underneath there. So
I didn't see it. Does it involve shanking?
I don't know if it involves shanking.
Damn it.
No.
Come on.
So am I more Runica or more Lockup?
I'm not going to say a freaking word about any of this.
Very smart, man.
Alrighty. And that is Mark's 5 things for this month.